Page 92, the entertainer. At the top of the page they give you a warm-up for the left hand should you choose to use it. I never use the warm-ups, but you're welcome to. These are things you're going to find in the piece is all. So it gives your left hand a chance to review some of the technical stuff it's going to have to deal with in the piece. Go for it if that's what you want. I want to talk about the piece. I'm going to start with the right hand. Here at the beginning, the notes are written here, but there's an 8 VA above it for the first measure, so you're going to come up an octave up here. There. I'll come back to a lot of this stuff. Let's just get the rhythm and the fingering first. One thing at a time. Right? Then second measure, you come down, you do it again here. And this rhythm, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so you just have the one tied note on there. You can think playing all of them is what it is, but just hang on to the tied part. And then in the next line, it's almost the same thing. And then the left hand takes it from there. Next measure, second line, second measure, here. It's a 5/7 chord. And then bring the thumb here, and this is where they want you to start. Thumb and a thumb. It's okay. I prefer when I do this, I usually do a 2-3-1 rather than a 1-2-1. You can do this thumb. It's just in a lot of music I run across, it's just easier for me to use 2-3 rather than using the thumb. So that's what I do. And you'll run across this in various places. We'll probably do it the same way. Let's see what happens. Last line on page 92. Look at the rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You see how it lines up with the quarter notes in the left hand? Because those are on the beat. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And that's tied, so you can hang on to it. And then it's the end of a phrase, and you can lift up and move your hand. Just follow their fingering, it's fine. And the last measure on page 92, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Then you'll, at the top of page 93, lift up and move down. If you want to do the thumb, that's fine. I probably will come down to a 2. But there's nothing wrong with the thumb. And then it's the same thing. Then at the end of the first line, it's 4-3. And then you have second line. Look at this. 2, 1. Just bring the thumb under here. And then 4, 3, 2. So, then lift up and start it again. This keeps coming back. At least you get lots of practice doing it. And then you've had this before, and then go down to the fourth line. All these eighth notes. 1 and 2 and that's tied. Hang on to it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then you lift up and do it all again, or most of it. Now, left hand. Left hand is kind of going to be bouncy. I'll just separate them. It's not a short staccato unless it says staccato, but just separate them. So in the second line on page 92, when you come in, that's not separated, that's here. Again, I do a 2-3, and that is staccato, and then the chord is staccato. And then in the last line, you start separate these. They want those to be staccato. I think just a regular separation is fine. A long staccato is what it would be, but if you want to do a short staccato, I guess that's an interpretive thing. It's up to you. In the last measure on page 92, make sure you play the rest. That's 1, rest, rest. So don't hang on through the rest. Top of page 93, separate these. Going on, separate them. If If you're going to do the staccato, it's just a nice wrist staccato. You got to keep the left hand soft because all the stuff we want to hear is in the right hand. Second line on page 93, separate these. Now these, they've got these marked staccato. Typically, this is an editor's thing. When I typically play this piece and I get a passage that's going up or down with keys next to each other like this, up or down the scale, I tend to connect them. It provides some contrast between the, but you can experiment with both of those and you decide what you're going to do. However, because it's marked staccato in the music, that's how you do it first. That's how you learn it. And then once you've learned it, if you want to go back and change that, then that's where that happens. And the fingering, second line, second measure, and then here. We don't care for that, but that's what they've got. We'll just stick with it. You notice the third line, there's no staccatos here. Just separate them. And that's it. Now, when you get to the fourth line on the half notes, here you can connect these as best you can. And then the rest, rest. Like so. Now let's go talk about this articulation a little more and dynamics. Let's just do them both in one shot. Makes the video a little shorter. At the beginning it's loud. That's a staccato. Make sure you come off of it. Just slur it all together and then end it with a staccato. Same thing in the next one. Don't accent the staccato. Just a staccato. And then go on. So you had, this has the second line, first measure, has to sound like one hand played it all. There? Because the A is being played by each hand, if you'll notice. And so one hand is playing it all. And then an accent staccato. Then we start the piece softly. That's the melody that's soft. The left hand has to be very soft. And now you're going to crescendo up to a loud. At the top of page 93 you go back down to a soft, and that's just make each note softer. And now you're going to crescendo to a loud again. Now we'll go back to a soft, loud, give you a decrescendo there in the first ending, so you may need to take a pencil and mark it in, because you got to go back to soft. When you repeat to the reverse repeat sign at the bottom of page 92. That's soft. So all the other times we've done this, there's a decrescendo on those 2/8 notes. So I suggest you take a pencil and just mark it in. So you're soft when you repeat. Now in the second ending, you're just staying loud here. But be careful on that ending. It's a little weird. And people will misinterpret it. And you can interpret it different later, but at first you learn it the way it's written. And the way it's written is the right hand is going to be held down until beat 4 starts. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it comes up on 4. The left hand has staccatos. And it's done. Well, on beat 3, the left hand's playing a staccato, but the right hand has to stay down until beat 4. So it's here. So most of beat 3, you're going to hear the right hand by itself, and then it comes up. So the ending is here. Off. Like so. Most people would just bring them both up at the same time. And that's more of an interpretive thing, and if you want to do that, that's fine, but play it the way it's written first. So when you do that, you know you've changed it. And that's what I'm after. Because if you change it and you didn't realize you changed it, that's a mistake. That's an error. But But if you change it intentionally, that's improvising. Now there's a note at the beginning of this, not fast. See, a lot of ragtime music, people like to whip through it. Some ragtime music is fast, but most of it actually isn't intended to be fast. And people play this piece way too fast. You find recordings of people. It's fun. So they do it that way. That's not what Scott Joplin wanted. It's just kind of in the middle, kind of a moderato piece. It's not fast, it's not slow, you're just kind of having fun with it. A little bit about form, just a little. You'll see the first two lines, that's like an introduction. At the end of the second line, the double bars. That means we're going into a new section. Well, then the song really starts with those two eighth note pickup to the last line. And the statement is soft, the reply is loud. Usually it's the other way around. But the statement, and then the reply. The statement, the reply. The statement is goes statement, reply, and it's soft, loud, soft, loud. You get the idea? Till the end, when it finally it's a reply and it's serious business and you're staying loud. And that's the entertainer. It's a wonderful piece. This is a nice arrangement of it. Let's try it together slowly, just to check the notes and the rhythms. You can find all kinds of recordings of this piece. It may not be this arrangement, but it'll be this piece. So I'm going to give us 4 counts since it's in 4/4 time. So your right hand is starting up here. Your left hand, when it comes in, will be here, but don't get there yet because the right hand needs that note, and you don't want the left hand in the way. So you can get the left hand up right before you need it to play it there. Just be ready with the left hand. Until then, you can leave it in your lap if you want, 1 and 2 and ready and go and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and